術式順天青
Hello everyone, my name is Troy and welcome to Maximum Output Training. Welcome to Max Effort Lower. And it's going to be an interesting Max Effort Lower today session just because I have no idea what variation I'm going to do today. It was like a toss-up between high box squat just because I have no like structured box squat. I could use my like competition style bench, but it's a little too high for me since I'm a short king at 5'6". So it'll just be like above parallel. And I have no issues box squatting. I haven't done it in a while since last year Halloween. I just think when it comes to raw squatting for myself, and especially since it's the high box, it won't translate over to a pretty good squat for me. So I think if it was a lower box squat, I would have actually loved to start using it. But it's too high for me, so therefore it would have been like cheating in a way if my hips is above my knee line, aka above parallel. So that is out of the question right now. And I'm thinking a front squat for not a top set of 1. I'm thinking like a top set of 5. Just because lately of how my training cycle is set up, my barbell accessory for max effort lower is right now high bar squats, no pause. And my pendulum wave right now is low bar pause squats. So I really don't want to be doing anything to affect those like fatigue wise, especially if I do like a low bar squat. I'm preparing for a low bar squat. So hitting a top single on low bar squats before I actually want to would be counterproductive in my opinion. And hitting a high bar pause squat, I just did that a couple weeks ago. So technically, I'm out of variations for top singles, and that's probably a good thing because I would have went balls to the wall for my top set for squats. So I already did a top single of front squats, and I hit 315 about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And I just recently hit a front pause squat at 300 like maybe 2 weeks ago. So this is like the area right now that I'm like confused for choosing my variation for max effort lower. So to not destroy my central nervous system, CNS for short, I think I'm just going to go with a top set of 5 for front squats and see how that plays out because my wrist is still kind of wonky. And since I am a nail biter and finger biter, I pissed off my middle finger with how I ripped off my nail. So let's see how that goes. But for now, I'm going to shut up. We're going to start warming up for front squats. And who knows, maybe I'll be doing like the bodybuilding crisscross, jump, crisscross style. And I absolutely hate that because it's super awkward and it's so uneven. And there's absolutely no point for anyone unless they have over 20-inch arms to be doing crisscross bodybuilding front squat style when you can just work on your mobility so everything is even. So let's get started. Front squats, top set of 5, warm up with the bar. I'll probably give about maybe 8 to 12 reps, see how that goes. Maybe I'll do some pausing in there, really open up my hips, and we'll get started now. 8, 9. Okay, I know I just blasted the bodybuilding crisscross style for front squatting, but there is a reason I do it for just regular barbell. Just because there's not enough weight to kind of just like let my wrist sit on my front rack position. So once I start putting weight on, then I start switching over to the Olympic style. But yeah, just the bar, for whatever reason, when I put my wrist underneath, it doesn't stay properly in my front rack position. So once I start putting like quarters or plates on, then it starts to feel a little bit better and it kind of just sits in my front rack position versus like, I don't know, it feels like I'm gonna flick it off. So that's why I do crisscross method, bodybuilding style for just the bar only. So we'll see how this wrist feels. I'm gonna load 95 pounds, see how it feels on my wrist. And if I piss it off, and if my finger's still pissed off, we'll do bodybuilding style, going against my words. So I might have to eat them today. Let's see how it goes. I'll see you in a bit. 95 pounds on, Olympic style, do it for 5 reps. And I don't know how I'm gonna do my top set. I might do it how I normally do with my good mornings. Do singles all the way up to the top set of 5 or top set of 3. generally, top set of 5 is around 85% of my 1 rep max. So I'm aiming today between 250 and like 270. Give me a nice little range there depending on how I feel. There is no rhyme or reason. It's more like an arbitrary. I just feel like 80% is a pretty good number to gun for if you're doing a top set of 5, and then you can kind of gauge from there. And then top set of 3 is roughly, I want to say 85%, just how I've done it in the past. Don't quote me on that. You'll have to like figure it out for yourself. And then once you get up to like the 80-85%, and you're just like, that's kind of like a top set of 3 or 5. It could vary either way, just depending on how you feel. So also, if I sound a little bit too far away, my mic is kind of like on my collarbone / shoulder trap clavicle area, just because of my front rack position. I don't want to like crush it. So 95 pounds for 5. Okay, that seemed pretty easy. Almost crushed my mic, so I might have to move it back a little bit further. I don't know. Maybe it kind of felt like muffling as the barbell went into it. I'm gonna load 135, and this is the time where I start belting up just to kind of keep my bracing and my back a-okay. So I'll see you in a bit. 135 loaded, feeling pretty good. Wrist is feeling okay. Middle finger is feeling pretty okay. So it looks like we'll be sticking with Olympic style front rack position until I reach my top set of 5. So let's gun for 250 today, and then we'll gauge how I feel. I kind of want 265. It's just a nice fat, like 2 plates and then 2 10s. Looks pretty good. So we're going to do the last set of 5, and then we'll do singles all the way up until around 250, and then do my top set of 5, and then we'll gauge from there. It's actually nice that I'm doing a top set of 5 versus a top single 1, just because of this little mini, I don't want to say prep, because I could have done like a full like meet prep type program where I'm actually really trying to peak, but this is like a weekly, monthly thing of just me just trying to get stronger, but not trying to dedicate strictly 12 to 16 weeks to peak for squat, bench, and deadlift if I'm not like competing. So it's just more like life gains, I guess you could say. And doing a top set of 5 is kind of brings the fatigue down just a little bit. I'm not going balls to the wall, and I'm still in a cut right now, so I got it for a couple more weeks. I want to say 2 more weeks, and then I'll kind of like bump up my calories so I can prepare for the prep. But yeah, I don't want to beat my body down too much and get hurt of some sort. So just doing top set of 5, roughly 80-85%. If they're doing a top 3, around 85-87%. So yeah, let's just hit this 135, last set of 5, and then we'll gauge from there. Okay, feeling pretty good. It moved pretty quick. It's only 135, and my best is 315. So 30. Oh my God, I almost said 30%. That's almost 55-60% of my 1 rep max. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna rest for a little bit. I'm gonna load 185, and we'll do 1, and then singles all the way up to around 250. Catch you for that. 185 on the bar, singles all the way up. I probably got about 2, maybe 3 more sets in me before I hit my top set of 5. So I'll probably do 185, 225, jump right to 250, hit that top set of 5, rest, and then probably jump to 165, see how that feels. And then I'll probably call it there. I don't want to be wasting too much time and get super duper fatigued. So let's hit this 185 for 1. Woo! Too easy. I'm gonna rest for a little bit, and 225 next. Last single before 250. I'm going to smoke this. It's only 225 for front squats, so it's going to be smooth. Feeling really good. Wrist is not giving me any issues. Middle finger still not giving me issues. Let's finish strong. 250, here we go. But first 225 for a single, then we slap on 250. Woo! That felt a little awkward. I didn't brace as hard as I wanted to and take a nice deep breath in. I kind of just went and then just kind of went. It moved. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to breathe, get my mind into it. 250 next. We are here. Top set of 5, going down, going up. Front squats. This might be my top set. Depending on how I feel, we may go up, but I kind of want to... This has to go up, no matter what. 250 is in the bag. So I'm going to shut up, get my mind right, and we're going to smash this shit. Let's do this thing. Holy shit! That was... Woo! I'm calling it there. Top set of 5. I thought I would have had it for 3, at least. Pretty good at the beginning. But I was just like, holy shit. That was, woo! We're gonna call it there. 250 top set of 5. I'm not mad about it. I wasn't trying to go for 90% balls to the wall. Top set of 5. That felt pretty good. Felt like form breakdown between reps 4 and 5. Just because when I unrack, I hold my breath the entire time and try to pump out my rep. But obviously, when it comes to multiple reps, you breathe out and have to breathe in and brace. And you lose tightness that way, obviously. And then that kind of just suffered for the last 3 reps. So I'm going to breathe. Holy crap. Get my mind right, and then we move on to our first barbell accessory. Front squats done. Now we on to our first barbell accessory, which is high bar regular squats. Like I said at the beginning, it is something I do on my max effort lower days for the time being. I like to alternate between high bar and front squats, mostly favoring high bar squats just because it's a lot more comfortable than it is front squats. But I like front squats for strengthening like my upper back, because you have to like be very good at keeping the bar on your shoulders and your front rack position, and having good mobility and a strong upper back helps a lot with that, which could carry over to your deadlift. So I like to keep that in mind. I'm doing front squats not only to help my squat, but also to help my deadlift. So that's just how I take front squats into consideration. But if you guys don't think front squat is good for deadlifting, that's okay too. If I had an SSB, I would 100% use that a lot more for a barbell accessory, just because it just sits on your upper back and your shoulders, and it just kind of, you just hold the handles and you just go to town on squats. So anyways, high bar squats for the time being, 265 pounds, what I was kind of aiming for front squats. That's okay though. We're going to do sets of 5, and yeah, we'll see how these goes. How these go. I'll shut up now. Let's do it. Okay. Ooh, that was tiring. Still felt pretty good. I think I need to work on my bracing a little bit better. That was Woo! That was tiring. I'm gonna rest for a little bit. I still have a few more sets, and I'll probably catch you for another accessory, and maybe one more after that. Oh! See you soon. Woo! I am tired, especially after those high bar squats. Sets of 5 at 265 done, and my back, low back, is a little bit fatigued after those, especially after when I do front squats of any sort, max effort, rep work. My low back does get smoked just because towards the higher weights for max effort or towards the end of my sets that I've programmed for myself, I start to cave in a little bit. I don't keep my upper rack position high enough, and then that kind of caves my upper back. So that's why I like front squats for upper back strength. You have to keep it up and have that upper back strength to keep up the barbell on your front rack position. I said that a little too much, but hopefully you guys understand. Now, we on to 1.5 inch conventional deficit pulls. This is my substitution for sumo stiff leg deadlifts, just because sumo stiff leg deadlifts were getting a little stale. This is like my second or third cycle with deficit pulls at conventional, Really enjoying these. I probably could pull a little bit more for sets of 5, but I don't want to like push it just because of max effort lift and then doing sets of 5 with a squat variation. So this is like the secondary barbell accessory, I guess you can call it. So keeping it rather on the lighter side. So yeah, I just did my first set already because I thought I was recording, but my mic was off. So anyways, 265 pounds, 1.5 inch conventional deficit pulls for 5. Or 4. Woo! That is tiring. Luckily, I only got a couple more sets left. I promise you, there's the 1.5 inch block there. And how do I know it's exactly 1.5? Because the rubber stall mats are 3/4 inch and the plywood is 3/4 inch. Do the math, 1.5 inch. So I have a whole bunch of blocks. If you can kind of see, you probably can't see. I have 3 more blocks. So I could do a 6 inch deficit pull if I really wanted to. Conventional style anyways. So yeah, oh man, that's exhausting. So my back's a little fatigued. I'm gonna get to these, and you know what? I'll probably call it here for the video, just because I just have other accessories that are kind of boring, and I've already displayed them for the channel here. I think for now, for this time, I'll leave them out, and I'll bring them back in once again. So comment, rate, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you want some online coaching or a free 20-minute fitness consultation to see if we're a good match to work together, there's some stuff in the description below. And I'll catch you next week for another training vlog. Because it's actually not a deload, it won't be boring, because we're going to jump into the next pendulum wave and see if we can prepare for the year-end max out. Catch you then. Peace.